Hello again, metalheads. We've had nothing but torrential rain all week here in the Kingdom of Mercia. It's a beautiful sunny Saturday afternoon now, so let's hope that some of that water has percolated down into the soil, softened it up so it's a bit more diggable and gets those signals popping. Without further ado, let's get digging. Stone the crows, 2 hours I've been at this. I've dug a couple of buttons, nothing much else. He's shouted his mouth off. Look, there he is down there. He's got himself a stick. Expects me to be chasing around after him. Will you be quiet? Yeah, a little religious piece. Cross on it. Only very thin. Pressed copper, so probably no older than Victorian, but on a day like today I'll take anything bigger than a button. What the blazes is this? I thought it was a spoon handle to start with, but that's definitely not a spoon. You can almost see it being a handle type thing, but what off? Why, that curved end on it there. Is there any age to it? It's got a kind of scored design mark on it. Really don't know. Now then, that's a bit more interesting. I'm wondering if that's part of a strap end, and possibly quite an old strap end. Let me get a little pokey thing. So we've got dot and ring patterns on here. Saxons and Romans like that dot and ring. I wonder. And of course, no hunt is complete without the stable. Musket ball! Oh yes. Up with a little buckle this time. Oval shaped one. Really don't know the ages of these types of buckles. Post-medieval through as far as Georgian, as far as I know. But with the bottom half of the field being so quiet, I'll take a buckle. That'll brighten my day up. Back-to-back buckles. How strange is that? This one, I think, is a lot older than the first one. Looking at the shape of that and the sort of tang ends on it, I'd put that as being medieval. Without a shadow of a doubt. That's better. Oh dear. Slow, 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 very slow. But it's a button, and it's not a plain one. It's got some kind of floral design on there, and it's still showing some traces of gilding on it. Nothing spectacular though, is it? Oh yes, another one of these. Look, a parasol slide. I think that's 3 of them I've had up out of this field now. Oh, blimey, there we go. Half of one of the smallest spectacle buckles I've ever seen in my days. That's absolutely tiny compared to my finger. Really cool find. Would have been better complete, but hey, there's still things coming up, and that dates to the late to post-medieval, sort of 1600s. Cool find. Crikey, that signal was so low and insignificant I very nearly didn't dig it, but I decided to. Tiny little leather mount. It's as small as one of the buttons on my detector. Absolutely minute. Very little detail on it, and ageless as far as I'm concerned. I don't think I'm going to date that one. But another find in the pouch. Hey up metalheads, I've got quite a cool find down here. It ain't expensive, it ain't precious metals, but I know a bloke who'll like this. My good old mate Robbie Cole. How you doing, Robbie? Have a look at this. Let's flip the camera around. It's a piece of lead, Robbie. Dot and ring pattern on it. Flip it over. Very worn dot and ring on that. I wonder if that's a very early spindle whorl. What a beauty. Thumbs up, Robbie. Thumbs up, mate. Back to back lead. Bet my mate Robbie's salivating about this, hey? A lead video at long last. Somebody's digging some lucky lead. Yes, half decent size. Maybe a large pistol. Small musket. Once again, nothing for absolutely ages. The odd shotgun end. But I think we've got a little mount type thing here, and that reminds me of a letter T that you'd find on the legend on a hammered coin. That's how they used to write the T's back in the medieval. So honestly don't know what age we've got on that, but a cool little artifact. Here we go, metalheads, back on the silver again. We've got a coin, but it's totally destroyed. I'm sure that's been in a fire at some point in time. Oh dear. But it brings the silver tally now to 9 pieces off this club dig field. I'm happy enough with that. I must be fucking bonkers. I've had this 99 signal. I'm that fucking deep in the ground. Found what I thought was an old iron pan or something. What's it covering up? A tin fucking box. What the hell's down here? Oh my days, I dug up the fucking irrigation pipe. Shit, man. That's why that was covered up. Bollocks, I thought that was going to be a tub of treasure down there. Yeah, I know, I'm as mad as you. That grabs me as quite a cool button. A triangular pattern within a circle. Bit of machining on it. And a dot in the centre of it. Pewter, I think. Yeah, as buttons go, that's pretty fancy. I'll take that. Right up against this telegraph pole, look. Perhaps a foot away from it. Somebody would have been rather upset to have lost that back in the day. The remains of a pocket watch. Oh dear. I knew this was quite close to the surface, so I flicked the tiniest of clods off. Look, there it is, sunbathing. Got a little watch winder. Wow, that's quite ornate, that is. Let's give that a little bit of a clean up and see if we can get any detail off that. I'm getting so close to finishing this field and I'm finding very little at all. At the point of giving up, and then just completely out of the blue, I've got this teeny tiny buckle. Now some real age on that one, I think. I've got a feeling that has got to be medieval. Just the shape of it. That's old. So, do I carry on and think that there's something else to be found in this field, or do I give up, which is my gut instinct? I don't know. This blooming hobby. Fancy button time. This is the biggest signal I've had in absolutely weeks on this field. Would have been silvered at one point in time. Little motif on there. Rampant lion, I do believe. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Well, I'm afraid that's it. That's enough. Barney and myself, in the last fortnight, since the last video went out, we put in at least 16 to 20 hours on this field. Not a great deal coming off the bottom, but hopefully enough to stitch together to make a video. We're going back home, get a nice cup of coffee, have a look at the finds board and see if it's worth producing one. Catch you shortly. Finds board time again, metalheads, and bear in mind that there's probably a good 20 hours of detecting here in this little lot. I've walked miles and miles to pull this lot up. So, as usual, at the top, standard issue buttons, moving down, parasol slide, couple of livery buttons, nice cleaned up 4-holer button, piece of Staffordshire slipware pottery, some buckle fragments down this side, pocket watch, little watch winder, couple of musket balls, a little clasp, bit of a spoon bowl, possibly the other end of that purse bar from a few weeks ago, Oscar Pistorius's Blade Runner leg, then coming down to the better stuff at the bottom. 3 really cool buttons, buckles, sorry. There's some aged to the left hand one and the right hand one. Medieval, I would say. Pressed piece with a crucifix on it. Little leather mount. A burnt out silver coin. This strap end type thing with the dot and ring pattern on it. Really cool watch winder. That's cleaned up a treat. Let me just show you this in detail. Turn it over. T. Allen Walker, 70 Market Street, Chorley. And what's really cool about this is, considering how delicate it is, that little piece on the top still rotates. Some kind of mount. I think that's a letter T on there. Okay. And possibly the finest piece of the lot, this little spindle wheel with this dot and ring pattern on it. Now, I haven't got very much of that club dig field left. It's close to the gate and the clover in there is really long. Do I return there, or next episode do you find me on a new field? Tune in and find out next time.